Hello everyone, welcome to a lesson in geography through the virtual class. My name is Shraddha Teacher and I will be teaching you geography and history this year through the virtual class. Now children, this geography is relatively a new subject for us because last year in standard 5th we did not have geography and history separately, isn't it? We had EVS 1 and we had EVS 2. But most of the concepts that you have learned in EVS 2 and EVS 1 are linked to geography and history, that you will realize when you start learning the lessons which are there in your history and geography textbooks this year. Now today's lesson, children, will be the first lesson in your geography textbook, and the name of the lesson is The Earth and the Graticule. So now we will first try and understand certain simple points about the earth. Then we will try and see what is the meaning of graticule, what is the graticule made up of, and why it is important for us to have a system like the graticule. Okay, so let us start now and let us look at this beautiful image which is a part of your textbook, children. Now, before we move on, let me also tell you that when you start watching a video of a particular lesson or a particular subject, I strongly advise you to please keep the textbook of that particular lesson open with you. So what will happen is you will be able to get quick references and you will be also able to relate to what I am teaching you. So now there are some questions asked in your textbook related to this particular image. So come on, let us try and see whether we are able to answer these questions. So let us first try and understand what this picture is about. Now this picture is actually the map of the world. Alright. On this picture you can see certain places, you can see certain children. Alright, and if you look closely at these different children, the pictures of the different children, you will see that they are all of the same age probably, but their features and the way they look is different from each other. So we have a boy called Enrique and we have a boy called Graham. Okay, from India we have Shahid and we have Minakshi. Alright, we have a beautiful girl called Michiko from Tokyo. So these children are their part representing the part of the world which they belong to. Now let us look at certain questions now related to this particular image. Now I won't be able to play the questions also along with the image, but you can always look at your textbook and try to figure out the questions. So the first question was, which places are shown on the map? So what do you think? Which places are shown on the map? There are certain places which are the continents and they are shown on the map. So let's look at the places which are shown on the map for us. So we have North America, we have South America, we have Europe, okay, Africa, we have Asia, Australia and Antarctica. So these are the different continents or the places which they have tried to show us on the map of the world. Along with this, they have asked you a question, in which city is the Taj Mahal located? So where is the Taj Mahal located? We know that it is one of the 7 wonders of the world, and we can proudly say that it is located in our very own country, that is India. So it is located in the city called Agra. Okay, and in which continent is the Taj Mahal located? So the Taj Mahal is located, you can see over here in the continent of Asia. Alright, there are some other questions also, but these are some basic questions about where, okay, which. Alright, so now when we talk about all these questions, like when we talk about where, or when we talk about in which city, or when we talk about what direction, what point or what concept are we talking about, children? When we ask all these questions, we are trying to find out answers regarding the location of a particular place. Okay, we are trying to find out where a particular place is located. Okay, now let's see what will you do when you want to find out the location of a place on the Earth's surface. it is going to be very difficult for us. Why is it going to be difficult? Because the earth is spherical in shape. It is not flat, alright, where you can stand in a particular direction and you can say that it is towards the east or it is towards the west. Now the earth is spherical in shape, okay, and see, this is how it looks. When you open it up, it looks like this. Otherwise it is in the form of a sphere. Can you see the boy sitting there with the sphere in his hand? So it is very difficult to talk about direction only with reference to the location of a place. Alright, so only the use of direction alone will not help us to accurately describe the location of a place on the earth. So if you want to know about the location of a place on the surface of the earth, you need to know many more things also. You need to have knowledge of some more things also. So what are these things? These are the things that we are going to talk about in today's lesson. Okay, so now in order to decide the location of a place, since the earth is spherical and it is very difficult to pinpoint and decide the location of a place depending only on the direction, the geography people who studied geography or the experts, they came up with this kind of an imaginary net, alright, which had many standing lines and they had some sleeping lines also. And this kind of net, they covered the globe with this kind of a net. Now remember children, these are all imaginary lines, alright. They actually do not exist on the surface of the earth. If you try to go and search for these lines on the surface of the earth, you are not going to find them. Why? Because they are imaginary lines and they have been drawn, you can say, or they have been conceived just in order to help us to find out the location of a particular place. Now if you look carefully, you will see that some of these lines, they are sleeping lines, that is, they are horizontal lines, and some of the other lines, they are standing lines or they are vertical lines. Alright, so let us see which are the sleeping lines. The sleeping lines are called as the latitudes, or they are called as the parallels. Alright, the standing lines or the vertical lines are called as the meridians, or they are called as the longitudes. And together, the sleeping lines as well as standing lines together, when they form a network on the surface of the globe, then that is called as the graticule. So now you see how we arrived from the earth being a spherical shaped object, and how we cannot decide the location of a place on the earth just based on the direction. So we needed some particular lines which were imaginary, and these particular lines are called as the graticule. Okay, so now you know what the earth is. Of course, the earth is a planet on which we live, and now you also know what the graticule is. Let us look at it in a little bit more details. So in your textbook children, you have this particular you can say concept of angular distance. Now when I told you that we need the graticule in order to find out how or where a place is located on the surface of the earth, the concept is described in this particular idea called as the angular distance. So this is a little bit mathematical, but I'm sure you will be able to understand. Let me try and make it simple for you. So see, suppose this is the earth, alright, and let us see, this is the center of the earth. Okay, the center of the earth. When you open up the earth, you can say, and you arrive at the center, this is the center of the earth, this point, alright. And suppose this is a place which is located on the surface of the earth, and you want to find out what is the degree of latitude of this particular place. So what will you do? You will do nothing, but you will take a simple, you can say, kind of an instrument, like a instrument in which you measure the angle, which you call as the protractor, and you will try and find out the angle or the angular distance. Now to measure the angle you need at least two rays, isn't it? So one ray will become the line which joins the center of the earth to the place on the surface of the earth, and the other line we will be taking is the equator. Alright, the equator of the earth will form one arm of the angle, and a line which you draw to connect the center of the earth to the place on the surface of the earth will become the other angle. And then when you calculate the distance, or when you calculate the degree, then you will arrive at the angular distance of that particular place on the surface of the earth. Alright, so this is a small concept which is part of the textbook, though it is related to not too much to geography but more to mathematics. I hope I have been able to explain this well to you. So see, this is how they have done this angular distance thing in your textbook. You will find this particular image in your textbook. So if you want to find out any location of any place on the surface of the earth, children, it is calculated with reference to the center of the earth. So when you want to calculate any place, the location of any place on the surface of the earth, you will always take the center of the earth, the point which is supposed to be considered the center of the earth, as the reference, and then you will proceed and find out what the angular distance is. Alright, so you can see here this is the place X, and we want to find out the angular distance of this place X. So what have we done? And this is a place Y. Okay, so we have tried to calculate the distance. See, here it is 30 degrees, and of course look at the arrow moving on the screen. Here this is supposed to be the equator. Okay, so this angle measures 30 degrees, and the other angle as in relation to place Y, it measures more, that it measures double, 60 degrees. So this is how you calculate angular distance. And this angular distance, when you measure the angular distance, it is used to determine the latitude location of a particular place, okay, to decide where that place is located. Alright, so hope you understood this point also. So let us now take a quick look once again at the different concepts that we talked about as far as graticule was concerned. We talked about the latitudes, and you can see that the latitudes go in the east-west direction. Okay, that is, they go in the horizontal direction, and the longitudes, they go in the north-south direction. That is, they go in the vertical direction, they run in the vertical direction, and together they form the graticule on the surface of the earth. Okay, children, see, and this is the most important of all latitudes. It is called as the equator. Okay, see here, this is the equator. So whichever parts of the earth or the globe is above the equator is called as the northern hemisphere, and all the parts which are below the equator is called as the southern hemisphere. Alright, so this is about the latitudes. Okay, the you can say the horizontal lines are called as the latitudes, and the most important latitude of all is the equator. Then we have the North Pole, which is a 90-degree latitude. It is in the form of a dot. You must be seeing as you go above the equator, the circle starts becoming smaller, isn't it? In the same way, as you go below the equator also, the circle starts becoming smaller, and then you arrive at one point where all the longitudes go and meet, all the latitudes come and meet together, and this is called as the North Pole. Similarly, in the south, you have the South Pole. Okay, and the most important longitude, it is called as the prime meridian. So see, this is the prime meridian, 0 degree, and like we have, if you look back at the latitudes, you will see from 0 to 90 and in the southern hemisphere, and 0 to 90 in the northern hemisphere, whereas in the latitudes you have 0 to 180 in the eastern hemisphere and 0 to 180 in the western hemisphere. Alright, all this together, children, we call it as the graticule. So children, hope you understood this lesson for today. This was all about what is the earth, what is the graticule, and why we need to have a graticule. Thank you so much. Let us again meet up next week for another lesson in social studies. Till then, goodbye and thank you so much.